and there's going to be no waffling on this question. Are you buying or selling? We just reached sort of a milestone in the NFL season. You can't slice it in half anymore. There's no quarters. There's just thirds to the season. Not really even thirds either. We just passed the
and it's
1/3
a perfect
mark.
Demarcation for the Steelers with the bye.
With the bye coming in. Are you buying or selling the Steelers as a playoff team? Ron?
Selling. I'm not sold at all. These next 3 games, you win Cleveland, then you have the Bears and Detroit, and then it gets brutal after that. No. The defense, even with TJ Watt playing unbelievably, Cam Hayward, they've been gouged in the running game, almost blew the lead the last 2 games. Ben and the offense still out of sync. I said 8 and 9 at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stick with 8 and 9.
I'm buying defense mostly because I think they're good enough to change games. And I think if they stay healthy, Highsmith is coming on. I think that's a great addition to what Watt does. Ingram, they can use all 3 at times. They'll get after quarterbacks. They'll make game-changing plays. That, more than any reason, tells me 10-7 is possible, and that would qualify for me as a wild card.
I am selling as much as I'd like to buy. I just think the Patriots will gobble up one of those spots.
There you go again with that New England, that Bill Belichick love.
I don't think that's going to happen, but
they're a game out, Ron. They're one game out of a wild card.
4 with, what did you say? They're 0-4 at home this year?
They're 2-4. The team in the wild card spot is 3-3.
When was the last time, if ever, that happened?
That's maybe not since he was there have they ever been 0-4 at home. They're one game out. But anyway, I'm kidding sort of about that. I just think the competition, number one, even though the AFC is down a bit, I mean, the Chiefs are 3-3. They're going to get one of those spots, I think. And I also think that if you told me TJ Watt would be healthy the rest of the year, I'd be really tempted to buy. But they're so dependent on one guy on this team. Well, I shouldn't say that because Hayward's been great.
And Highsmith is coming on.
Well,
he had a really good game yesterday.
But TJ Watt has been a guy who I think, based on his presence, they could be 4-1 or 5-1 or 4-2 right now. I don't know how realistic it is that he's going to be healthy and playing at this level, 3 months from now with the motor that he has. He's already been hurt. So I'm selling. I'm selling on a playoff spot. I, too, picked 8 and 9. And I, too, Ron, after fluctuating after the Buffalo game.
You flipper and a flopper.
Yeah, based on actual games that are played. Like if you picked the Steelers to win 10 last year and they were 11-0, you kind of had to change your prediction, right?
Right.
Games happen, and bars are raised or lowered, and I'm sticking with 8 and 9, and I'm selling on the Steelers. No playoffs for them this year.
Okay.
First losing season for Tomlin, but they have missed the playoffs before, haven't they?
Yeah, this would make it 3 out of 4, even though Mike Tirico said they're a perennial playoff team last night during the broadcast. How about the AFC North? Let's repick 1 through 4. Ron, you go first, based on what you know now and what you've seen.
I've been on Cleveland all along, but with these injuries there now, I don't know what Nick Chubb's situation is. The Steelers play them in 13 days. I don't know if either Hunt won't be back. He's on IR. He's out at least 3. Mayfield, who knows what his status is. Chubb, I don't know. Defense playing poorly. I mean, I picked Cleveland all along, but based on what I know now, I got to go with Baltimore.
How about standings 1 through 4?
I'm going to go with Baltimore. Oh, man. The next
tough,
3,
ain't it?
The next 3, I could put them in a hat and just pick them out. I think Cincinnati's going to be right in the mix at the very end. I would still probably say, man, that's tough. I'd probably still say Cleveland 2, Pittsburgh 3, Cincinnati 4. But I would not rule out Cincinnati passing both of those teams.
Baltimore first, Pittsburgh second, Cincinnati third, Cleveland last.
Holy horse milk. I'm going to say Baltimore first, although I'm
still not sold.
Still not sold.
Everything can change with
Baltimore,
injuries,
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincy. That's where I'm going.
That's the same thing I did.
You want to hear what Gene Steratore has to say about the end of the game?
Yes, I would.
Okay, he said official, the umpire specifically, must spot the ball before any legal snap can occur. It could be another official other than the umpire at certain times, but an official must always spot the ball before every snap, which occurred, I think. It does not have to do with the Swain running up. Anyone apparently could do that. Run
That
the
was my
ball
question.
to the official.
Anybody can run it to the official.
And as long as the official, which I think happened.
He
right?
handed him the ball. He put it down.
Right. He rushed the play. So give Freddie Swain credit. He salvaged that opportunity for the field goal. If not for him, they don't get it. Time runs out.
Well,
interesting.
No, because they challenged the play, they would have gotten it.
What was the call on the field? What was the call on the field? An incomplete pass?
No, the call on the field was a catch.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did they have to? I still don't understand the
Nobody
need.
knows.
It was a clear catch.
Nobody knows. But as long as Swain,
somebody up in the booth got paranoid and said we got to make sure that was a catch.
As long as Swain can run the ball in, they snapped the ball
Right.
before 1 second.
I just don't understand the need to look at that play, I guess.
No,
Still never will,
that's Tomlin's problem. That to me, that's a separate issue. Then did it matter in the end?
Right.
No, because they spiked the ball with 1 second left, and whoever stopped that game, it's probably a fireable offense in a situation like that. You couldn't see real time that he caught the ball.
Right.
Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if it was any order in the AFC North right
Me
now.
neither.
Any order. But as far as the Steelers go, I wrote on postgazette.com this morning that as a fan, you want your team to be involved in interesting games. You want the Steelers in the mix, but I also know for a fact that there's a certain portion of the fan base that wants that high pick, Bob. You know, but it's easy to say after the fact, well, I'm glad we went 5-12 and got a high pick. But right now, you want to be in the mix. I mean, I don't know if Tomlin is ever going to have a losing season. If he can't have one with Duck and Mason Rudolph, when's he ever going to have one, right? The Steelers are back in the mix, for better or worse. And I would think as a fan, like this next game against Cleveland, that's going to be interesting. And the Steelers are going to hang around. They're going to hang around for a while. I'm buying that. Are you guys?
The way the schedule is for the next 3 games, now you say they even lose in Cleveland, they're 3-4. They better beat the Bears and Lions at home, and they're 5-4, and they would still be very much in the mix at that point. But then the schedule gets a lot tougher.
So does everybody else's, though.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to try to assume you have all the answers in rebuilding and tanking and trying to get draft picks. It never works out quite the way you expect. And again, the Dolphins are going through this now where I look at some of their picks after they accumulated so many. You can think one way, oh, yeah, we'll have a better draft position. But who's available in that draft? What quarterbacks? If specifically you're looking for a quarterback, are you guaranteed of being in a position where you can get the guy you want?
Exactly.
Nobody knows.
I mean, like I said, I think it's easy to say after the fact, and it is true. There's much truth to it. They had to go 6-10 to get Ben, but if I'm a fan, the whole fun of being a fan is having your team in the mix and be interested
Playing
for big
games in December that mean something.
And I think the Steelers will be doing that. And I'm not saying that means they're good. It just means that with an extra wild card spot, if you look at history, almost every year, including the Steelers twice, an 8-8 team or a 9-7 team would have gotten in. All you have to do is hang around 500, and you're in the mix for the whole year. That's all you have to do.
There's excitement for that because every game does matter, and so you do want to watch the game.
And then you look at some of the schedules. Like,
how would you like to be the Jets or the Giants combined? They have 19 wins over the last 6 years.
Yeah, there are teams.
I mean, you watch that? You can't be happy watching that. They get high picks a lot. What have they done with them?
But I bet you there are people out there, if I put the number out right now, 928-9370, who honestly wish, even against their best interest now, they have a secret wish that the Steelers would just flop for 1 year, and this might be the year so they can get a quarterback. You know?
I understand, but people have wished for Sam Darnold. Remember last year he was going to be gone. Well, some people wanted him here. You could wish for whatever you want to wish for. It's hard to get that quarterback, and I'm not saying that the Steelers are going to be in a good position next year. Who knows? They may be in a position to try to do something out of the box to address their quarterback situation if Ben doesn't return.
Look at some of these schedules. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I know. I want to hear what you say about the other team schedules because I think the Steelers schedule after those Detroit-Chicago games is brutal.
Well, that's assuming Tennessee.
aren't as good as
right.
maybe we thought they were. You're still going to L.A. to play the Chargers.
Yeah, but what you
That
saw
can't
from the
be easy.
Chargers yesterday
but
makes you wonder what you're
that
going
was
to see.
in Baltimore, not in L.A.
I know, but who knows?
Go ahead, Joe.
Listen to the Browns. Do you hear something, Bob?
Yeah, but I don't think our listeners.
Is that horse? Is it your phone?
No.
What is that?
No, they're talking, and there's a human in there.
Oh, all right. There's a person in there talking to horse. Maybe he's getting hired to be a pierogi again, right? Ron, what did you think of that revelation? That horse was once a pirate pierogi.
I did not know that.
I'm so darn proud of that
Your
guy.
friend,
Look at him in there.
Your friend Molinari was a vendor at a game selling Cokes at a Pirates game at Three Rivers. They made him do it, and he hated every second of it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, would that have been great to heckle him?
I appreciate what Joe did.
Listen to the Browns. So after Denver, they have Steelers, at Cincy, at New England. Then they get a little break with Detroit. Now listen to how they finish.
It'll be easy. Everybody beats New England in New England.
True, but listen to how they finish. Here's the Browns around Thanksgiving. Back-to-back against Baltimore, Raiders, at Green Bay, at Pittsburgh, and Cincy.
That's a tough schedule, too.
Now listen to Cincy.
Why they're going to finish last?
I think they might. I mean,
now, if Chubb is out for a while with Hunt, they definitely
and
will.
those two tackles and Baker. I mean, what up? They're going to go with Case Keenum. I mean, he had like a dislocated shoulder, did he not yesterday? Left shoulder, I know. Now listen to the Bengals. They get the Jets in a couple weeks. At the Jets. Okay, they're at the Ravens this week. Then listen to them down the stretch. Browns, out west against the Raiders. Steelers, Chargers, Niners, at Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, at Browns.
It's a hard schedule, too.
That is a hard schedule.
Yep.
The team right now who has a chance to maybe pull away is the Ravens, not just because they're already a game up on Cincy and 2 up on the other guys, but if they beat Cincy especially. They got Cincy coming in this week, and then they have Vikings, Dolphins, and Bears. They have a chance to give themselves a little bit of a cushion.
When is their bye week?
Not till mid-November, right before they play the Browns, which is another break for them.
Way late then.
But then they finish with at Browns, Packers, at Bengals, Rams, and Steelers.
That's going to be really interesting all the way through.
Every team in the division, and the Steelers, of course, too, have a really tough stretch run. But they're going to hang around. They're going to hang around 500. I think that's almost obvious at this point. They're going to wind up with somewhere around 8, 9. I would say between 8 or 9 wins.
Bob says 10.
Bob says 10. Okay, 8 or 10.
That's what I said from the beginning, and I'm
optimistic
not going to change because I think there's.
That's fine. Between 8 and 10 wins is, I would say, a very safe bet.
They'll be in the hunt for playoffs.
10 will get them in, I think.
Absolutely.
8 or 9, maybe not.
Yeah, but I think we're going to have interesting games in December, which I think is a good thing. I'm not convinced every fan believes that, however. I think a lot of them, not a lot, but I think a significant number would wish for 1 year they'd be willing to trade in that 1 year to get a shot at a quarterback.
Again, which quarterback and where do you pick? Judging
Good
by
questions.
what you're not going to have a top 5 pick right now based on some of the bad teams there are. So therefore, look at Devin Bush. They thought they were getting somebody who could be an extreme difference maker and moving up 10 spots to do it. That hasn't worked out.
Did you think for a second that he was going to go full Jim Marshall with that fumble when he picked it up?
For a second, I did.
I did not. There were teammates right around him. They'd have dragged him down.
No, they would have missed the tackle, right?
Oh, that's true, too. That's true.
All of them would have missed the tackle. He would have run through Terrell Edmonds, Minka, everybody else.
That is true.
Can you imagine if he did? If he started in that direction for like 20 yards and took him out of field goal range?
Apparently, Cam was asked about it and said, "What are you doing? Whoa!"
It was incredible. And then he fumbled.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those you get it, just sit down. You're already in good field. Again, the awareness of where you are.
How about Boswell? How good is he?
Best kicker in the league since 2019.
Yeah, except not in 2008.
Would you rather have him or Justin Tucker right now
Tucker,
for the next 5 years?
Tucker
I would
probably,
rather have Tucker
because of the distance he could give me at the end of the game.
I think he may be the greatest ever,
And
all due respect
he's
to
still
Vinatieri.
early 30s, I think, and therefore he could probably kick until who knows what age.
He's an opera singer, Bob. Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah.
Have you heard him sing?
No,
You could sing opera, I think.
no,
You want to try?
no.
Warm up your pipes here between sets
He
and
can
come
do
back?
Elvis, I know that.
I know he can. Would you try an opera piece for us, Bob, if I
No.
presented it to you?
Why would I do that, and why are you going in this direction?
I don't know. It seems like you're not shy about your musical skills.
I like to dance. I will sing, but I'm
At
not
least,
going
at
to
least
go.
you don't sing the horsefly song in the middle of the night like I've done.
Did you hear about that?
No.
I couldn't sleep the other night. I found myself singing his horsefly song, and I'm thinking,
It
I
happened
need
to Joe
help.
Kopp, too. Has
I
it ever happened to
need
you?
help.
No.
Have you ever sang one of my songs,
No.
leaving the building?
It just took over you were sleeping.
No, I wasn't sleeping. I don't ever sleep. I'm laying there, and I am a horsefly.
That's one of my hits, Horsefly, Bob.
No, I've never done that.
Mulsey's never recovered. I don't think he's fully
He
recovered.
takes everybody down who knows him or in the room with him.
You may have yelped.
He takes
You
him.
know,
I didn't
you-
yelp.
you
like
could have
he
yelped in the
hasn't
middle of
done
the
that
night.
as much as he has in the
No, I
past.
quit that cold
No,
turkey
you
a
didn't.
couple
You did
years
it earlier
ago.
today. He's in the middle of a read.
I
You
did?
had one or two.
Oh,
Yes.
no, that was a yawn. That's this. That one.
What's a
That's
yelp?
not a yelp.
What's opposed to a yelp?
I can't do that on command anymore. I had to
Okay.
quit.
Okay.
How about our power pole next?
Does your
gentlemen?
wife Susie get angry if you make that noise? Like I know.
No, I
tend
can't
to
do it in the
that.
house.
I've done it in the house, and I think Lisa doesn't.
Anger isn't the right word to describe her. Regret is the right word. Regret.
No, I told Ron that they don't let me do it in the house, my wife or daughter. And
How
even
about if
little
you-
simple, innocent things like with the dog. Every time I give the dog a treat, I was telling Ron last week, they'll be like up in bed, sleeping on a Saturday or whatever, and I'll take the dog out. And I have a certain thing I say to him every time I take him out. I say, nice boy, happy boy, sweet boy, silly boy, fast boy, strong boy, nervous boy. That's all I do. And if I say it, one of them will invariably yell down, shut up. Every time.
Regret is definitely.
You would be interesting.
Regret
to
is
live with, I
definitely
think.
his wife's
Like,
feeling.
I got my first microwave in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm gonna take it outside so you can see. I got my microwave, and it's so hot inside.
That's talent, Bob.
So damn hot. I got my microwave in Tennessee. Why don't you come with me?
I mean, that's legitimately good. Ron, would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
No, I would not.
Bob, we're going to work on an opera piece for you. And Justin Tucker when the Ravens come in. A duet. Like Simon and Garfunkel. Okay?
Sure.
Our power poll next. Who are the best 3 teams? And Ron, the worst team.
Team.
Singular.
Team.
Right.
Singular.
The-
One.
I think we all have the same pick there, I would imagine. Let's do that. Oh, my God. Bob, you made us go over time.
Clock management is not your strength. I know that.
Call me Andy Reid.